Hi guys, Todd has recruited me to go ahead and teach you guys how to make some prototypes in Adobe XD, and I believe Mooch will be helping us learn about that a little bit as well. So if you haven't already, make sure you've got Adobe XD downloaded on your computer, and then we will open up Adobe XD and use it. So the first thing I want to show you is the different types of files you can make. As you can see here, you got the iPhone, which it has different sizes, an iPad, which also has different sizes, and even Android tablets and all these guys, and the web, so you can prototype for all of these. I typically just stick with a Web 1920 and an iPhone 6, and I'll make a web prototype and an iPhone prototype. For this class, you only need to focus on the web prototype. So to create that, I'm going to click there, and it's going to create a new file for me. So, as you can see, we've already been zoomed in on the frame that we want to save here. I know some shortcuts, so if you want to slide around back and forth or from left to right, there's two different shortcuts. Holding control on a Windows computer at least will slide you in and out and be closer to the computer. Shift will move you left to right, and of course, just holding nothing and moving up and down will move you up and down. I'm sure the controls on a Mac are similar. So the next thing you need to do is up here it says it's untitled. So let's go ahead and save this as something. I'm going to save it to my computer in my N115 folder. I have a prototypes box, so I'm going to save it in here and call it practice prototype. So now the name will change up here. Every time you make an edit, it will say edited, and you'll need to save it. So I want to change the name here to home because this little board is going to be the home board. And I'm going to save it, and the edited goes away. So there's some magical things we can do in Adobe XD. First of all, you can take a box by clicking this, create a box here, and you can drag an image into it to just take up some space. So I've got a folder in here in my downloads, and it's the homework files extracted. So I want to go into the homework files and drag these into there. So the first one I want to do is I want to do the home page. So I want to steal some colors from here too. I'm going to make it a little bit bigger so that I can see the colors in proper landing. So I'm going to flip back and forth from these. So we've got the nav up here, we've got our title, paragraphs, picture, and the footer. So let's set up the basic form of this website first. So the website takes up a little bit of the web page, but not all of it. So I'm going to do this and uncheck border because border takes up space. And I'm going to hit this eyedropper here to select the fill for here. Then I can hover over here and it creates this here. Even better, when I highlight it and I click on the color box here, it shows me the hex code. So you can copy this hex code into your web code in the future when you're working in your CSS files, and you can just put the colors in there and have it exactly that color. So now I want to center this. I drag it and it's got the lines here for me. So I drag it center. Then I want to drag another box and make it my navigation. So I drag it out, take off the border, find the color, and now I have my nav bar up here. I'm actually going to copy and paste it by Control C and Control V, and then I'm going to shorten it up just a little bit here. So now we have this portion of the page made. I want to go ahead and add in this header picture here as well. So I'll add in my picture. I'm actually going to shorten this up a little bit because it's taking up more space than I'd like. Put this up here and make sure I take the border off of it. And then I'm going to go into the images folder and drag the factory JPEG over here. So now it's taken up space here. It doesn't look exactly like the website, but that's okay. When you're making a prototype, it's just supposed to be about the placeholders for everything you want, and you know how you exactly want it positioned. I can change around the shape and it'll move the image inside, but for now, I just want it to be like a placeholder for me. So the next thing I want to do is I want to go ahead and put some text in the areas that I need to put it. So based on this picture, we have our four navs, a title here, and another title here. So let's go ahead and create that other title holder down here. And I just Control C and then Control V to copy and paste. And now I want to put my text in here. To put text in, I seriously just put this in and type what I want. I can double click on it to select the text in there, and I can change the size over here. So I'm going to change this to about 35 pixels, and now it's bigger. I can also change the color by clicking off of it, making sure the cursor is selected, selecting it again, and hitting I to pull up this eyedropper tool. So that's going to select the color we want it to be. I want it to be white, so I'm just going to cheat and select the white back there. So now I've got the home link right here. If it's not lining up properly, you can zoom in a little bit more and it will allow you to line it in the center of the navigation bar. So now I have my first tag. We have a home, about, contacts, and products. So I'm going to actually give this a spacing of center, and I'm going to change it to about. Contact. See how it tells you the space between? It even tells you how many spaces are between them, but you don't need to code it exactly. It can also just be a basic prototype. There we go. So home, about, contact, products, and then I'm actually just going to copy and paste this over here to do the title of the widget factory. And I can experiment with the font over here and the size. So let's go ahead and make it bold. Oh, I have to have it selected. Let's go ahead and make it bold to make it a little bigger. And now it sits there. Pretty easy for the widget factory portion. So now let's go ahead and copy and paste one more time. Make this the page for here. So according to the picture, this is just the home page. I'm going to make this a little bit, well, a little bit bigger than the links actually. So let's make this 40. And position it about right here. So now we've got the basic homepage set up. So I want to make this same outline for the about and everything else. Oh, actually I also forgot the footer. So let's just copy some more text down here. Zoom in a little bit so I can center it properly. There we go. And then this will be the ampersand, which I'm going to leave out. Oh, and if you didn't know, the code symbol for ampersand in code is and copy. If you type that out, it's going to create the ampersand in your code. So for the heck of it, I'll just leave that there. All right, so got the basic web page made up. I want to use the same template for all the others, so I can just simply click here and copy and paste this 3 more times. So let's go ahead and change the names of all these to what they need to be. About, contact, and products. Now on this board, I can move things around as I see fit. So since I accidentally skipped products, I'm going to move it down here. Do the about here. I'm going to move this here. Move this here. So now, got everything here. I don't need this reference anymore right here because I already have all the colors I want on this web page. So I'm just going to go ahead and delete it. So now, on the home page specifically, I want to recreate this page. So I need 2 paragraphs of text. There's something awesome we can do for that. I'm going to go to ellipsum lorem ipsum generator. And I'm just going to go generate 2 paragraphs of lorem ipsum text. So I want to generate 2 paragraphs. Generate lorem ipsum. So I'm going to I am now going to copy these 2 paragraphs, go into Adobe XD, and paste them. So now I've got my 2 paragraphs here, it's taken up so much space that it's not filling out my paragraph. So let's make that awful more pretty. And then let's change the color of it. So if I scroll down, I can take the fill and make it white text. And I want to make it just a little bit bigger. So let's make it about 30. Nah, 25. There we go. So now that that's up, and I know about how much text I want, I'm actually going to cut a little bit of it out because there's too much here. So let's go to about here for this paragraph, and to about here for this paragraph. So it's telling me there's spelling errors, but that's okay. It's lorem ipsum. So now I've got my paragraph going right about here, and I need a picture. So let's go ahead and create the box, remove the border, and put our picture over here. So now we can just go in here and drag this picture into here, and it will place it for us. There we go. So we got the home page all done. I'm going to go ahead and save this for safekeeping. When I save, the edited marks goes away. So now I'm going to go to the About page. Let's take a look at the About page. There's just 5 paragraphs of text here. I'm going to cheat, and I'm going to go back to this paragraph, and I'm just going to copy it, paste it here because it's already got all the styling I want. And there's 5 paragraphs taking up most of this page. So I'm going to just space it out a little bit, and I'm going to copy this paragraph, these paragraphs a few more times. Then I'm going to delete all the extra space I don't need. Click outside of it. Oops. Adjust it to where I want it to go. And now I've got my 5 paragraphs here. And change this to About because it's the About page. And we got our About page done. Oh, also there's the title of the widget factory. So let's actually just scooch this down a tiny smudge. I'm going to copy this. And make it a little bit smaller. Let's say about 32. And line it up to where I wanted it to go. So now I've got my About page prototyped. Let's go to the Contact page. So on this page we have the Contact the widget factory, some inputs, and a button. So let's go ahead and change this to Contact. So made it Contact. I'm going to steal this title here. And I'm going to change it to Contact the Widget Factory. So as we can see on this page, it's actually a little bit aligned to the left of Contact. So move it over a tiny bit, and I'm going to change it to Contact the Widget Factory. I actually need to move it over because it went off the page after I did that. So now I've got Contact the Widget Factory, and we've got our form. So we've got, I'm going to copy and paste that, change it to a tiny bit smaller, like 26, change it to first name, and now I've got the first input tag here. So let's put first name here, copy it, change it to last name, copy it, change it to email, and then the last one will be phone. Alright, so now I've got these all put up, so let's line them up. As I line them up, it shows me how they're lined up, and they have the same amount of space between them. So, we actually want to align them to the right. Alright, everybody's aligned now. So now I want to do some input boxes. On this page, they're simply white with a slight gray border around them. So I'm going to make my box here. And it's already white with a border around it, but I actually want to make the fill slightly gray. So I can actually do an opacity here to make it gray or see-through. So this is making it see-through, whereas this is making it a little more gray. So I'm going to grade out just a tiny bit like this. This is the hex code, and voila. So now I'm going to copy this box and have it line up with all the other inputs. Let's zoom in a little bit because I just want it lined up with the input. There we go. There we go. Everybody's lined up. So now we need to do the submit button. Let's make another box. And I'm going to drag these little circles to make it go inwards like this. So if we look at our button, it's kind of whitish gray, which is about your standard button in HTML. And it's got some rounded edges. So I'm going to go about here, and I'm actually going to make it a little less rounded because it's a little too rounded right now. There we go. So about like that. I'm going to remove the border because I prefer that. Make it a tiny bit smaller. And now let's put some text in it. I like to cheat by doing this, putting it in there. And so it went behind here because I technically created this circle first and the phone went behind it. So if you hit Control or Command and you hit the square brackets on your screen, it's going to bring it forward from the screen. And now it's in the front. So now let's change the color of it because I actually couldn't see that. I'm going to change it to brown for now so you can see it. If I hit Control and hit the backwards bracket, it's going to put it behind. Forwards brings it back out. Alright, so now let's make a color for this. It was actually a little darker of the gray, so let's select the gray, do fill, and go to a blackish color, like this. Then we want to center it inside of that button. And change it to submit. So now we've got our submit button on the page, and we've created our contact page. I'm going to save my prototype and move on to the products page. So on this page, I now have a square here with Future Toast and the paragraph next to it. So I'm going to create a square here for my product, remove the border, and I will put the pictures in here. But first, I'm going to go ahead and copy and paste each of the squares individually. Now, I'll go here to what the pictures I want to be here. Let's take a peek at the page again. Looks like we've got Future Toast first, then computing, then the vehicle. So drag in toast, computing, and vehicles. So now I'm going to cheat again, copy and paste this, create the page for Future Toast. I mean the title, not the page. And I'm going to make it smaller. So let's change it to 30. I'm going to align it to about right here. And then I'm going to create the paragraph with the text inside of it. So I'm actually just going to copy and paste again. Go here, make it about 26 pixels. Actually more, less. Make it 20 pixels. There we go. And oops, that's how big I want it to be. I actually am going to go cheat again, steal this paragraph of lipsum text. And as you can see, it made it super wide, which is easily fixable by dragging it down. Oh, something's not right here. All right, cut. Let's try this again. All right, so I pasted my text again. All right, so I pasted my text again. I'm going to stretch it out to about how wide I want it to be, which this is about perfect here. and I want to change the color because I copied and pasted it weird. So now I've got my paragraph, and I'm going to copy the title down. And I'm going to change it to future computing. Line it up, copy and paste the same paragraph. And then I'm going to do the same thing. Copy, paste. I'm going to change this to future vehicles. I think that's what it said. Yeah, future vehicles, and then I'm going to copy and paste the paragraph one more time. So now I've created the products page. And now we have made every page of the prototype. The next step is to link them together. The wonderful thing about Adobe XD is that you can create your own link pages. So link the pages together like a real website. So what I want to do is I want to go to the prototyping tool up here. When I do this, all the editing tools on the left and the right are gone, as you can see. But I select this, and it's got an arrow here, so I can tell what page I want it to link to. I actually can't link the home page back to the home from here, so I'm going to link the About to the About page. To do this, I'm going to choose the About artboard. I can also do an action to show how I'm translating to it. The animation will change how it animates to the next page. So I'm going to put no animation because when we created this page, it didn't have any animation. I'm going to go ahead and link these to all the other pages. So now I've got all of these pages linked to all the other pages. As you can see on each page, the page itself that it links to is not linked because I can't link it to that same page in Adobe XD. So I've got all my pages linked. How do I preview it? So to preview it, you actually just go up here and hit Desktop Preview. It's going to open it up in a window like this that says Preview of whatever your file name is. Notice how it creates a highlight over something that is a link. So since this is the home page, and I actually apparently didn't link the products page. Oh, I was on the products page, that's why. So I'm on the home page. Since I'm on the home, it won't link here, so it doesn't hover. But it lets me show each page on each side. Well, you might be wondering, why don't we just create websites like this in the first place? Well, first of all, I can't create input boxes that actually work in here. So this is just a layout for me to decide how I want it. It can also help me determine where I want to place pictures, how I want to display it, and all the different colors on here. And it's wonderful because in Adobe XD, as I go back to design, you can steal the hex code from here and use this in your website. And you can also easily place a picture and steal the colors from it using the eyedrop tool or the shortcut I. So I hope this wonderful thing has helped you. Also in the future, if you choose to do a mobile device, you can connect it using this or preview on your Android. You can also hit share here to generate a link. So when I hit play here to preview, it's opening it up. But if I want to share it to another page, I can share for review. So I can go here and I can click share for review and I can create a link to share. When I do this, it's going to create a public link. And now the link is not showing itself here, but you can copy the link here. So if I go to my browser and I paste this link, it will show me my website on this page. This is how you're going to turn in your prototype links. So after you get everything done, you turn in your link here and we'll test it. Only the prototype here will be the prototype that you create. All right, if you have any questions, make sure you message one of us, Mooj, Peyton, Robert, Todd, or I, and we'll get back with you as well as we can. So have a good rest of your week and good luck on your final projects.